Okay, those of you booting your server core, you will need to boot your server core as well while we are waiting. But before we do that, please can you go to your full screen, go to the server manager. We're going to check every other thing. Go to the dashboard. So what I want you to do is to go to the network teaming adapters and let's configure them to be let's take out the network teaming. Can you take out the network teaming? Go in there and delete the teams. Guys, delete the teams of the network. Delete the network teams. So what we're going to do, we're going to set up network load balancing in both servers, and we're going to add the network load balancing. So follow the steps I'm going to be using. We're going to be using port 80. Now, if you notice there, in failover clustering, like we learned, both servers participating in network load balancing must share the same storage. Is that not correct? So what we're going to do, we're going to set up our web server by sharing it on our computer, our server 1, whereby both servers, whenever you open both servers with their IP address, they will be pointing to the same server location, meaning the same website. Are you getting me? Because that's the whole concept of network load balancing. So all the servers that are participating will actually be using the same website, like the way I always connect you guys to your tests. 192 like the WAP server, when I ask you guys to do your tests, like Caroline. So that shared folder, that folder that the website is, I will share that folder and automatically add that folder to the location of each of those servers. So whenever anybody goes to the local website of each of those server systems, that will be the website they will be using for communication. Okay. Just allow the network team to get out. Excuse me. Okay, it's okay. Okay, let's just wait for the network team to be done. So what we're going to do, I want you to disable adapter 4, adapter 3 and 4, and 3 and 4. You take it out so that we're left with only 2 adapter. Then we can go back and use DHCP to assign the IP addresses. Then we cannot boot the server core as well to be able to use them to set up the configuration. This is actually not quite that complicated compared to failover clustering. Huh? Okay, just waiting for it to go up. So when it's done, we can proceed. Please go and practice the things we've done already in class. Please practice them, know them. We'll still do other practicals again later on. Certificate services. I won't escape that on Thursday. I'm going to show you how to set up your certificate services, assign certificates to users, whereby users will be issued certificates through the server system by using group policy. We'll do all of that with Active Directory and delegation. Just waiting for it to get finished. It's taking quite some time. Okay. Okay, I think that is settled now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this now. Everything is back to IP version. You can see it's back to our local IP address. Do you see that? Huh? Now if you go to your Ethernet settings, that's your IP address there. So everything is back to normal. So if you open up the IP, all the computers as well, you see that they are all giving IP address. So what I need you to do now is to disable this, number 3, and number what? 4. Are we together? And confirm that your DHCP servers assigned them an IP address. Okay, that's perfect. Okay. The next step we're going to be doing now is to set up, what we're going to be doing is to set up, we're going to be setting up network load balancing on server 1 and server what? Server 1 and server what? And server 2. So we're going to set it up. Then after we've set it up, we're going to configure the web server to use high availability. We don't have the web services here. Is that not correct? So let's go to add row. Let's go to the dashboard. Let's click on add rows and connect. And we click next. We go to web services. Add rows. We click next. 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 Accept the defaults. Press practice and install. So let's install the web services row, please. So let's have those 2 rows installed prior to our configuration of network load balancing. So the next step we're going to be doing, while this one is loading up, can you minimize your screen? Then we go to the virtual box. Can we boot the server core? Can we boot the server core, please? Can we boot the server core? Can we boot the server core? Just put this here so that I can always switch in between the 2 servers. Huh? Okay, that's my server 1, that's my server core, so that if I want to switch in between them, it doesn't take much of a problem. Okay, and that's the server core coming up. So let me do IP config. So confirm if my configuration is right. And let me ping 192.168.1.1. Okay, so we have a communication. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back to my main server system. I'm going to make it full screen again. Okay, I'm going to close now. We've installed the web services. I'm going to refresh the server. So we've installed the web services. So what I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to set up network load balancing. So I'm going to add both server systems together by installing the network load balancing services on the computer system. Okay, just wait for this to finish refreshing. So can you go to your Internet Explorer? But before you go to your Internet Explorer, let's verify the servers we have. Let's see the name. Okay, that is mcse.local, and let's see our Toronto server. Okay, our server is our server. It's our server domain admin 1. Huh? Is it domain admin 1? Class? Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to verify web communication. Let's go to Start, open Internet Explorer. So we're going to type say the server's name is what? Did we add our server with did we install Active Directory on our server core? We didn't install Active Directory, huh? Okay, so but did we install the web services? Okay, let's put domain. And we added the computer to the domain. Plus $1.mcse.local. Okay, let me use the IP address instead. .1.5. Okay, that's the web services, huh? Okay, let's go to ours. Okay, what we can do. Okay. Okay, the RS row is installed here, so it's fine. We've confirmed both websites have the same information. Okay. The next thing I want us to do is to set up to confirm the DNS. Let's go and confirm the DNS information. We go to Tools. We go to DNS. Expand. Sorry. I'm warning you guys for the last time. I'm having a class. Okay, that's the IP addresses of the computer system. Okay, refresh them. That's your IP addresses. Okay. And you can check the server core again. Let's see. Let's do IP config. IP config. Release. Then IP config renew. Okay, it's .5. Okay. So it's .5 now, it's correct. So let's create a new host, a new A record. Just type www, and we'll come to the IP address 192.168.1.23. So click add host and click done. Fresh. That's it. Okay. The next task we're going to do is to install the network load balancing in both server systems. We can use the command prompt to install them. Most times when I did the command prompt with my students, it did work. You guys may want us to try it, but we can do that. Just you can follow the command prompt PowerShell Simlets to be able to set it up. But in this case, I'm going to be using this. I'll use the server manager icon to do it. So what I'll do, I'll click on add rows. Okay, I'll click row based installation. Let me click on add servers to manage. Let me click this. So I'll click on add rows. Okay, why is the server not showing here? Did we add the server code to the domain here? Huh? Okay, why is it not? Okay, it's showing now, guys. Yeah. Okay. So we select the destination, which is domain $1. We click next. So we're going to be installing the network load balancing features. Next. So we select network load balancing. Network load balancing. Okay, the server needs to restart. It will also restart as well. So we'll do that on the remote server. We'll also do that on our main server system as well. But all configuration we'll do it from here. So we're going to click close now. So I'm going to add the second one for the main server. I'll select network load balancing. Add features. Install. Okay, that is done. Okay, I'm finished setting up the row. So now let's set up the cluster. So I'm going to go to tools now. I'm going to click on network, load what? Balancing manager. Okay. Now currently we don't have a cluster. Is that not correct? So we're going to right click and say what? Create what? A new cluster. You guys remember our IP address? It says connect to one of the hosts. And one of our hosts will be our main server. Is that not correct? Which is 192.168.1.1, right? So I'll click on next. And it gave me two network interface cards that resides in this particular host. So it's asking me which of the network card I want to use. Are we together? So if you have a server that have 5 network adapters, they will all be listed here. Then it will ask you which adapter. So we can take the second network adapter. It's fine. We can take adapter 2.1.2. Okay. We'll click next. Now it says DHCP will be turned off on this adapter to configure it for network load balances. It says please specify any necessary gateway or DNS information on this adapter property or control panel. Now what it's trying to say now is that this particular adapter network load balancing does not support dynamic host configuration protocol. It only supports what? Static. Are you getting me? Meaning the computer needs to be using the static IP address, not what? A dynamic IP address. Because with dynamic IP address, it cannot guarantee when it's failover. Because IP addresses might change. Are you getting me? So what I will do now, I'll go to my network adapters. You can go to your main server. Go to your network adapters here. Adapter 2. Check my status. It's using .2. So what I will do, I'll go to properties, IP version 4, and I will give it 192.168.1.2. Are we together? I can put the DNS as .1.1. Okay. So guys, that is sorted. So let's do the same on the server core. Let's do the same on the server core, please. Okay, is it sconfig? Okay, let's go to sconfig on the server core. Sconfig. You can make it full screen. We all know the IP. Mine IP address is 1.5. I don't know of yours, right? So the next thing we want to configure is network adapters, right? So we say number 8. And we're going to be using index 10. And what are we doing? We're trying to set the network address, which is number 1. Static. So we put S and we type 192.168.1.5. Subnet mask will be default. Enter. Default gateway no. We're going to set the DNS. DNS will be 2. And the preferred DNS will be 192.168.1.1. DNS is set. Alternative DNS, enter, and exactly. So number 4, we turn back to the main menu, and number 15, we escape. So that is settled. Now let's go back to our main server. Let's make it full screen again. Now let's go to the network load balancing. So we're going to try to connect again. Now I'm going to select adapter 2. I'll click next. You see, it doesn't give me that what? Information anymore again. Are we together? Okay. So remember we talked about priority when we're talking about network load balancing, where you can have what? Multiple network adapters, right? And multiple servers. Remember, the servers based on your priority will not be how they are queried. Are we together? Now this is the first server, so automatically it takes priority what? 1. But depending on you, I don't know how you want to put up your server. You can say priority 5. Probably you have other servers that are more faster than this. So we're going to take the default one. The state is started. It's okay. So we'll click next. Now remember we set up a cluster IP. Do you guys remember the cluster IP address we set up? 192.168.1.23. That was called the cluster IP. So what we're going to do now, we're going to click add, and we're going to type the IP address, which is 192.168.1.23. We're going to leave the default subnet mask. We're not using an IP address, and we're not generating an IP version 6. So that will be the cluster now. All the computers we're going to add later on, they are all going to be sharing this IP address. So when I go to 192.168.23, it will actually direct me to either of these two servers anytime. Are we together? Okay, so I'll click next. So that's it there, and it's telling us what is the full internet name. I will say the full internet name is NLB. I'll say NLB. Now, you guys still remember we have unicast and what? Multicast. Unicast, you will need 2 network adapters, right? The multicast, you use what? The single network adapter, right? To be able to communicate and what? Send your query. So I'm going to take multicast, then I'm going to click on next. Based on the ports, we're asked to use port 80 to port 80 rule. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to click on edit, and I'm going to say from port 80 to what? Port what? 80. Those of you doing network plus, that's your range. So we're going to use it for TCP only, and we're going to use a single mode. Are we together? There's a multi-host, an affinity single, and we're going to click on what? Okay. That's it, guys. Then we click finish. So remember we'll talk about convergence. So what will be happening there, you'll notice it's trying to do what? Converged. Are we together? So it's trying to load up to pick up the network adapter. When that is finished, you will see the green sign will come up. Now we've only just had one host. Do you see there? It says converge. Did you see the word converge there? If you come here, you see converged. Did you see? It's converged, right? Is that not correct? So what we're going to do now, we're going to add computer 2 to what? This particular host. Remember, our network load balancing is 192.168.1. Dot what? Dot 3. Is that not correct? Okay. Now let's add another host. We'll right click, we'll say add host to what? Cluster. Then we'll type 192.168.1. 5. Remember, we installed the features already, because every server that needs to be in network load balancing must in NLB must have the features installed. So I'm going to click connect now, and let's wait to see if it's going to connect. Let's give it a while. It's trying to look for the interface. I'm going to pick it up. Just hold on tight. Just hold on tight. I'm going to pick it up. So as many servers you have on your network, that's how you add them. So if I have 5, 6, 7 servers, I will add all of them to what? 192.168.1.23. Are we together? Okay. Let's give it a while. It's going to come up. Because I believe we can be able to talk to each other. You see it showed up now. Did you see it? It says connected. Did you see that? So I'm going to click next now. You see automatically gives it priority 2. Did you see that? Number 1 is no longer there anymore, right? So I'm going to click started. And you see by default it will automatically inherit the ports. From where? From the permission, because we are adding it to the cluster profile. Are you getting me? So I'm going to click on next now. I'll finish. And it's going to also converge as well. So it's pending. So it's loading. It will be converged. So I can add as many servers within the network. Are we together? I can add as many servers. Then it will also show you the dedicated IP address there. You'll see it will show you which IP address is talking to that particular interface. That is network load balancing. Then later on now we can now go to individual and actually configure their load weights. I'm going to do that with you before I move on to the next. Because I don't think I showed you, it's not part of this lab, but I'll show you that. Where we can configure the load weights. So if Ethernet 2 of MCIC gets to 50% load weight, the next query, the 192.168.1.23 will forward it to what? Domain admin 1. Are you getting me? The rest of the query will go there. Are we following? Yeah, so just give it a while. It's going to converge. It's just the time frame it takes. It actually takes quite some time. We'll just leave that to do its job. Okay, on the web server, they have actually created a, you see what they did in our lab practicals. They actually have a DFS namespace. Are you getting me? If you notice, they have a DFS namespace called website. Then the replication mode, it's website www root. So what they did now was to create a DFS namespace. Then the folder target now becomes what? The location of what? The server. You can see both of them have converged. Did you see that? Both of them are what? Both of them have converged. Okay, let's try. Okay, let's try 192.168.1.23. Did you see? Did you see where 23 is taking you to? It doesn't make sense. 23 does not exist. But it's there logically. Pointing to who? Two servers. So what I want us to do, I want us to do something. I want us to try to see how we can, let us change the browser. Let us change the browser of each of these server systems and see how it works by going to the folder and trying to change the content. Are we together? Then we'll be able to fail one and see how it switches from one server to another. Are we together? Okay, let's go back. Let's go to the folder. Let's go to our folder. I'm just going to skip the web location there, and yeah, I'm just going to switch the web location. Okay, let's go to the shared folder. Let's go to 192.168.1.5 $C$. This will take us to the drive C folder. Huh? Are we together? Yeah, that will take us to the drive C folder. Just waiting for it to come up. That will take us to drive C folder. Okay. Is it not going? Is the network and sharing center on? It's off, eh? Okay, let's go and put it on then. S-config. Where's network and sharing center here? Huh?
You need to install file services.
Oh, file services. We don't have file services enabled.
No.
Okay. Let's go to the main server system. So let's go to File Manager, add roles. Next. Domain 1. Okay, it's quite fast. Okay, that's good. We are there. That's Internet Hub, www root, and that should be the image. So we're going to edit it with Paint. So we'll take this field. We'll take this. We'll take red. We'll take what? This. So we'll click Save. Okay. Now we've done that changes, right? If we still come back again to server 1, it's still you see we are still stuck where we are before, right? Is that not correct? Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to come to network load balancing. Then I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop this. Are we together? So I'm going to come here. I'm going to right click. Did you guys remember all those the control hosts? The drain stop, the suspend, resume, stop, and start. Do you guys remember those options, right? Yes. You're there in your test, right? Remember, drain stop is it won't allow incoming communication. So those who are connected will remain. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do what? Stop the service. That's all. And it's going to show red. You see red icon there. So if I come here, it says what? It's stop. That's it. And your information just shows it's successfully stopped. So let's go back again to 123. Let's press enter. You see, it's still taking us to the same location. Okay. I'm going to close my browser. I'm going to come back again. Let me go to my start menu. Click Internet Explorer. Go to settings. Let's delete all history, any history we have on the system. Downloaded history, password, whatever. Let's delete them. So let's type 192.168.1.23. Okay, it's still taking us to the same location. It was supposed to automatically fill to the next server. Excuse me? No. 1.5 is a direct connection. Okay, let me. Excuse me? Okay, I think let me use network. Let me see how long. Let me use network because single affinity, it means that it will be stuck to that particular server. So let's try it again. Don't worry, to change. Just want to see. Okay, domain 1 was still updating, when we change it to network, right? That was still updating, so let's leave it to finish updating. Normally, it's supposed to switch to server 2. Server 2 is supposed to come up here. Just that it's stuck to server 1. Now, normally, if you want to test this, you will test this with your client computers on the network. Are we together? Yeah, in the normal scenario, you will test this with another computer. Maybe a Windows client. You use a Windows client to test this. Let's wait for it to converge. Okay, why is converging? Let me show you something else. Now, normally, if you wanted to configure the load weight, you come to each of the network adapter here. Can you see it here? Each of the hosts. You right-click and go to host property. Now, if you come to the host property, you go to the parameters and port rules. Then you can come here and say edit. You'll notice here it says equal. Are you seeing it? So the load weight will automatically be what? Equal. I can come in here, I can check this, and I can give a percentage load weight. Then, I can put a percentage load weight here on how this particular computer, when it gets to that point, when it would fail to the next server system. So then, this is where you can now come and put your port rules based on how communication goes in and out of the system. Okay, I think the stuff is converged. Let's see. It's supposed to change. Those of you who have a host computer system, you can try to use if your host can. Okay, of course, you still need a server system to do that. Yeah, I'm still stuck on the same server. Okay, guys, that's for network load balancing. That's what I wanted to show you on the network load balancing. Did we do any practicals on RIS? Did you do any practicals on RIS? Okay, let's go to the tools menu. Scroll down to RIS. Did we install RIS here? Look at it there. Internet Information Services, huh? Okay. Now maximize it. Now go to your server. That's just a link to Microsoft. That is your site, and that is your what? Default what? Site. Do you see your default site there? Now, if you come here, you see what they call bindings. You see bindings there. Now, click on bindings. You see your IP, your current port number is currently binded to what? Port what? 80. Now, most of you always say, why are some, when you go to some website, it says HTTP. Is that not correct? So, to do that, you can come in here and say edit. And you can come here and assign a specific IP address to that port 80. Are you getting me? Yes. Or we can come here and say add, and we put HTTPS, and of course we can assign it to a specific IP address when you type it. So we'll put .1.1. Are you getting me? Are we together? Yes. Then of course you can come here and put an host name. This requires server name indication. Are you getting me? If you have you remember certificate services, they will come in here to select certificate services that we currently have. This I will teach you when we come on Thursday. Whether we're going to deploy a web server certificate and select it here. Because you need a certificate for you to have an SSL. You can see that's why we don't have the OK button activated here. Huh? You need a web server certificate to be issued. Yes. Okay. Now, if you come in here, you can see your website. You browse through port 80. Do you see there? Localhost. Do you see there? Yes. So you are currently using port 80. Now, if you come in here, you can see that the port is binding to port 8080. So I can come in here, I can go to bindings. I can come here and say edit. I can say port 8080. I click OK. Now, I'm going to go to my website now. Look now, I'm going to come back here. Okay, this one is for your web server. I'm going to type 192.168.1. .2, sorry. You say page cannot be found. Okay, let me go to .1. Say page cannot be found. Let's go to 23. Of course, 23 is using network load balancing, huh? So you see, it doesn't affect it, except we go and put that port 8080 on the properties of the cluster. Now, see what I'm going to do. I'm going to do :8080. Is it opening now? Yes. Exactly. But if a user goes to the website without putting those 8080 specification, it will get that the website cannot be what? Displayed. Are we together? That's how you play around with these things. Huh? So that is where you can come in. You can also put, this is your SSL settings if you're doing certificate services. Then of course you're logging in. This is to your log files. Like you can come here and say view log files. That's where your log files is. All what we'll be doing, you can see. Everything we'll be doing here. Look at them. Huh? Everything we'll be doing. Are you seeing it? Yes. Port 80. Remember we just did port 80 now, right? Huh? You see every activities on your website, you will monitor it here. Are you seeing it? That's logs, yeah? Where you capture all the data, everything that is happening on the computer system. Then as for authentication, if you want to, you see anonymously is enabled, huh? So for example, I can come here and edit it, and I can say, I can disable anonymous. Are you seeing it? Authentication is anonymous. So if I go back in here and I try to get to the website, of course I'm authenticated because of what? I am the user. If other users that is not part of my domain tries to go to the website, it will require them for authentication. Are we together? So I'm going to just enable it and leave it the way it was before. Then of course this is your directory. This is where your browser is. You can enable your time and all that on your websites. Error pages when an error occurs. Huh? Look at all the error. You can see all the errors here. You can change the errors. Error 500 means something else. So you can come in here and change the type of information you want people to see. What else again? And I think that's all I wanted to just show you guys. This is for your basic settings. You can remember your URL path. So I can come here and change the URL path. Let me just copy this. I just want to save this. Sorry. I just want to save this on Notepad. Let me save this on Notepad. Let me paste this on Notepad so that I can copy it back to where it belongs. Okay? So, guys, I'm going to go to the network. Listen carefully now. I'm going to go to my network and I'm going to make do you know what? Let me create a shared folder. Let me go to let me share the folder on let me share the folder here. Let me go to Internet Hub, web roots. Let me share this folder, property. Okay, we have to log into the I'm going to copy this now. I'm going to come to this place. I'm going to paste this. Are you seeing it? I'm going to test settings. Okay, there's a problem there. You say cannot verify the path. Okay. Okay, but it can't. Yeah, it can't verify the path. Okay, let's see. Let's see. What do we do now? Let's set up something. Let's go to computer. Let's add a map drive. Okay, let's go to the computer settings. Let's erase this. Where's our map drive? Our map drive should be this, right? Is that not correct? So click OK. So let's go back and test it. Okay, still cannot verify. Actually, we needed a shared folder. A shared folder we needed a shared folder. What I'm trying to do here is that I'm trying to change the location of my website. Are you getting me? I'm trying to change the location of my website to a different location. That's what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to minimize. Let me put it back the way it was before. Test it. Okay. Browse. Okay, let me change it. Maybe it's my one. See the error there, because I think on the other end it uses a different type of port. So this is the error 500. Of course, it tells you what the problem is and everything. Okay, guys, that is what I wanted to show you on the website. But tomorrow, on Thursday, I'm going to use certificate services. Let me just revert this back to the setting it was. I'm going to use certificate services, whereby I'm going to assign certificates to this computer, and we're going to, when we go to the website, it's going to say HTTPS instead of HTTP automatically. Now that's how you control it on the server system. Okay, guys, we'll stop here. Please try to